We drove into this spot last night after dark, not really knowing where we were going. Took a couple of wrong turns and finally ended up at the campsite, which in the light of day is actually really beautiful. It's right on the Bulkley River, which was not too far from our house when we were living in Smithers. There are other campers over there, but you can see my roof right there. My silly stove, which we've had for many, many years, so I guess it's to be expected. The butane bottle won't push forward far enough to make the flame stay on. So I've had to stick the lighter in the back there just to push it forward a little bit so I can make some coffee. It's a bit of a pain. I may end up having to get a new stove at some point, but my husband might be able to fix it. He's pretty good at fixing stuff, so but at least I can make coffee this morning. We are at the point in our travels where I have had to pick up groceries to take up to the cabin. And I have this green tote that I picked up in Smithers, and there's a green tote up on the front seat in the passenger seat that is full of fresh produce. I'm now having to do a lot of juggling to be able to get everything out of the way so that we can sleep at night. And I was actually quite surprised last night. I managed to get everything up off the bed and we were comfortable. But yeah, it's a little bit less streamlined, I guess. It's going to be a little bit more work getting things repositioned and stuff in the morning and the evenings. We've spent a night here at a beautiful campsite outside of New Hazelton, up off the Highway 16 or the Yellowhead Highway. Beautiful, beautiful spot. If the weather was nicer, we would probably stay here another night because it's just gorgeous. It's right on the Bulkley River. I was able to spend a little bit of time this morning getting things straightened out in the car camper with all our extra stuff on board now. It's a little bit more crowded for space, but it worked out pretty good. I'm actually quite impressed. I got quite a bit of stuff into the car top carrier yesterday when I picked up the groceries. I was actually quite impressed with my packing abilities. But now we are heading out. It's still very low cloud, very gray. The color of the trees, though, makes it all bright. It's quite nice. But I was hoping to be able to show you a few spectacular views that are very easy to see from Highway 16. You don't have to go anywhere off of Highway 16 to actually see these things. And one of them is the Seven Sisters Mountains, which are absolutely stunning. And I don't know if we're going to be able to see them today. I will stop if they are visible because they really are just gorgeous. And I was really excited about showing those to you. But the weather just is not cooperating. Trev said this morning when he texted me that it's actually snowing at the cabin already, and they're supposed to get between 5 and 7 centimeters today. But it's going to be warming up a little bit again after today up there, so I probably will get there after the snow is all melted. I'm not sure how far we're going to go today, but we are getting into bear country. Like, all of BC has bears, but driving the Cassiar Highway, you are pretty much guaranteed to see bears several times. And I was hoping to be able to some more bear shots for you. Maybe a moose, maybe a caribou, who knows? We'll have to wait and see who decides to walk out on the road while we're traveling. I'm excited about this part of the journey. This part of the trip is going to be very much more remote than the previous part of this trip. I filled up with water in Smithers, got all my groceries. I don't really need anything. There are gas stations with, you know, snacky stuff, but only a few, and you have to fill up at each one you come to just to be on the safe side. We are going to go into Stewart. I don't think I'm going to go across into Hyder. Going into Hyder, there is no checkpoint. I mean, there's nowhere else to go but into Hyder, which is in Alaska. To get back into Canada, to get back into Stewart, you do have to go through a Canadian border checkpoint. There didn't used to be anybody there. It used to be a phone number that you called to declare anything that you'd bought in Hyder, which there's not a whole lot to buy in Hyder, but that was what you were supposed to do. I don't know how many people actually did that. I know we never did. But now there is a manned border crossing getting back into Canada. I don't really know why they did that. We're heading out. I'm going to head back into New Hazelton just because I need to get Gracie some more kitty litter. I should have picked that up in Smithers, but I didn't. But that's what we're doing right now. So we stopped at the Tourist Info Center here in New Hazelton, which I've never stopped at before. It's really nice. They have a beautiful gift shop in there, and I got some stickers for my trunk, which is cool. But I'm going to show you a few of the, I guess, statues they have around here. There's not a whole lot to it, but it's kind of got everything that you need, but then you'd have to drive, you know, to get more, I guess. But yeah, it's just a little town, but it's nice. You can see how thick and low the clouds are, so I'm thinking the Seven Sisters are not going to be visible today. You can see the mountains a little bit up there through the clouds. The rest area that I was planning to stop at to go pee, as well as to get some lunch, was closed because the road into it had washed out. It was also very muddy where you normally would park. It's kind of it's not a great rest area. It's always wet in there, and yeah, obviously they had a flood there and they haven't done anything about fixing it, so now I'm driving further hoping to find a bathroom. We're just heading down into a recreation site called Bonus Lake. It was not very well marked, but I was looking for it, so there's some big puddles on the way in here. There are no outhouses here, so I'm just going to have to pee in the bush. That feels much better. Now I'm going to make some coffee and have some lunch, and I'll give you a little peek at Bonus Lake. I've seen a couple of little fish jumping in this lake since I got here. Little ones. There's an eagle sitting on the top of that tree right there. He's been sweeping over the lake. I think he's after the fish. Well, I've made my coffee to drink on the road. I've had a sandwich. Fred and Gracie have been out for a little bit of a stretch. So now we're gonna keep on heading on, and we'll be stopping at Meziadin Junction. I'm not sure. I think I may spend the night, come here Fred. I think I may spend the night at the Meziadin Lake campground. Depends on how much it costs, but they do have Wi-Fi there, I think. And I forgot to download anything to watch tonight, so I'm such a wimp. Okay, let's get going. So that is the sign. You can see it going north as well as going south. You just have to be looking for it, basically. This is a really nice rest area, and there are no signs here that say you can't spend the night or however many hours you're allowed to spend. And it's got a really big paved parking lot. And in this kind of weather, a paved parking lot makes a big difference in how clean the inside of your RV or trailer or my car camper stays, because you're not walking in the mud. Fred's not walking in the mud and getting dirty feet all over my bed. So yeah, it's a nice spot. The parking lot is pretty level. There's this little walk down to look at the river. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Good place to stop. You can see the big red thing that says, "You are here." We are on the Nass River at kilometer 143. So we've traveled 143 since we turned onto Highway 37. We're here, and we're getting to Meziadin Campground, which is right here. Then we're going to take off over here to go to Stewart, and then back over here again, and then we travel up and up and up and up. And this is Bell 2, which is kind of special. We'll stop there for gas as well as just to show you a little bit there. And we keep on traveling, and then we get to Bob Quinn, which is a highways work camp. And we keep on going up 37 till we get to Tatoga. Then we get to Iskut, which is a native reserve. They do have gas. I always stop there for gas and get a coffee because they have a little grocery store. And then we keep on going up till we get to Dease Lake, where we used to live for a few years. And then after that, we continue up and up and up and up and up and up to Jade City. And then over to Good Hope Lake, which is another native reserve. And then up to Boyle Lake, which we're going to spend a night there. And then we keep on going. And we're meeting my husband in Watson Lake. Well, Meziadin Lake Provincial Park is already closed for the season, which it said on their website that they stay open until snow. So I'm not sure if it was because of the fires that was blocking the road up this way for part of the summer or what, but they are closed, which is kind of annoying. So we're just going to continue on and maybe go into Stewart. Hopefully there'll be someplace I can stay there. I know there's a couple of campgrounds. I don't know if they're open still or not, of course, but hopefully there will be cell service. So that is the junction up ahead where you see the flashing yellow light. So this is called Meziadin Junction. And on the right-hand side, there is a gas station and a grocery store, sort of. It's more like a snack food type, like you would find at a gas station. It's usually full of potholes, but maybe they've improved it a bit. It's a camp for something or other, I'm not sure what. Gas here is $1.94, and it's very mucky, and we don't really need gas yet. So we are going to just go through these potholes. You can see how mucky it is. We will carry on to Stewart. That sign says 37A, and that's the road that goes to Stewart, goes west, and then just regular 37 goes towards Dease Lake and Watson Lake and all that. Oh, they're doing paving on this road. How exciting. That's it for this video. We'll meet up again on the road to Stewart in the next video. See you then. Bye. Thanks for watching.